After we broke up, I suddenly remembered all my pajamas were still at his place. I called Liam asking him to send them over, but he told me to come get them myself. When I arrived at his door, he was only wrapped in a bath towel around his waist. Droplets of water from his hair trailed down his Adam's apple and chest muscles. I was about to step inside when he suddenly pulled me into his arms. His bath towel fell to the floor, and I felt the hard press between his legs against my stomach. I couldn't resist. We ended up having a wild night. The wedding day was a blur of satin, forced smiles, and the scent of expensive lilies. The church was packed with our mutual friends, people who had watched Liam and me grow up together, break up, make up, and then break up again for the last time. I walked down the aisle as a bridesmaid, my teal dress swishing around my ankles. Liam walked down as the best man, looking devastatingly handsome in his tuxedo. We stood on opposite sides of the altar, flanking the happy couple, Mike and Sarah. Chloe was there, sitting in the front row reserved for family and significant others. She looked beautiful, fragile, and utterly adoring as she watched Liam. Her eyes shone with a pure, unadulterated love that made my heart ache with a mixture of pity and jealousy. She didn't know. She didn't know about the night at his apartment. She didn't know he called her compliant behind her back. She didn't know she was just a safe choice for a man too cowardly to handle passion. At the reception, held in a grand ballroom overlooking the ocean, I kept my distance. I sat at a table in the back, nursing a glass of champagne, watching Liam charm the guests. He was in his element, laughing, telling jokes, holding court. Chloe clung to his arm, looking like a porcelain doll he had just won at a fair. "May I have this dance?" I looked up. It was Caleb. He looked different tonight. Serious. His usual quiet demeanor had a sharp edge to it. "Sure," I said, putting down my glass. "Why not?" We moved to the dance floor. The band was playing a slow, jazzy number. Caleb was a good dancer, sturdy, reliable, not flashy like Liam. "He's cheating on her," Caleb said suddenly, spinning me around. I missed a step, stumbling slightly. Caleb caught me, his grip firm. "What?" I whispered, staring at him. "Liam," Caleb said, his voice low but clear over the music. "He's cheating on Chloe. With his secretary. It started 2 weeks ago. He told us at the bachelor party last night. Bragged about how compliant women are easy to fool. He said he needed a little excitement before he locked himself down." I felt a surge of nausea that had nothing to do with the spinning. "Does she know?" "No," Caleb said, his eyes finding Chloe across the room. She was laughing at something Liam whispered in her ear. "But she will. Someone needs to tell her. She's a nice girl, Stella. She doesn't deserve this." Suddenly, the music stopped. The DJ tapped the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, the best man would like to make a toast." Liam stepped up to the mic, looking dapper and confident. Chloe beamed at him from her table, her hands clasped in anticipation. To Mike and Sarah, Liam raised his glass, his voice smooth as silk. "To love. To finding the person who completes you. I'm lucky enough to have found my Chloe." He gestured to her. The room applauded. Chloe blushed, looking down. "And I want to announce," Liam continued, his smile widening into that charming grin that had once been my world, "that we've set a date. Next spring. You're all invited." Cheers erupted. Chloe covered her mouth in joy, tears sparkling in her eyes. Friends rushed to hug her. I stood frozen on the dance floor. The hypocrisy was suffocating. He was proposing a future to her while sleeping with his secretary. He was building a life on lies, just as he had tried to build one with me on false promises. I felt a tap on my shoulder. It was a waiter. "Miss Stella? A gentleman asked me to give you this." He handed me a napkin. On it was written a phone number and a note in handwriting I didn't recognize. "Call this number. It's Chloe's sister. She needs to know." I looked at Caleb. He winked at me, a grim, determined expression on his face. I walked out to the balcony. The cool night air hit my face, grounding me. I looked at the number. I had a choice. I could walk away. I could let Liam ruin another woman's life. Or I could burn it all down. I didn't have proof of the cheating. But I had something else. I had the voicemails. The ones from the night I went to get my clothes. The ones where he called me late at night, drunk, complaining about how boring and vanilla Chloe was compared to me. The ones I had saved because I was pathetic and holding on to hope, but now they were ammunition. I dialed the number. "Hello?" A woman's voice answered. Sharp, protective. "Hi," I said, my voice steady. "You don't know me, but I have some information about Liam that your sister needs to hear. And I have proof." I sent the audio files. Chapter 7, The Crash. 3 months later. I was back in my city, sitting in a coffee shop with Mark. Mark was the guy I started dating after the wedding debacle. He was an architect, calm, creative, and kind. He didn't smoke. He asked about my day. He bought his own Netflix account. We were laughing about a movie we'd just seen when my phone buzzed. It was a news alert from a gossip site I used to follow. Scandal and Ocean View, socialite calls off wedding to sterling heir after leaked audio tapes. My heart skipped a beat. I clicked the link. There was a video. It was Chloe. She was standing on the steps of the church where they were supposed to get married. She wasn't crying elegantly, as Liam had claimed she did. She was furious. Her eyes were red, her hair was windblown, and she looked powerful. She was holding a microphone, surrounded by reporters. "Liam Sterling is a liar and a cheater," she announced to the press, her voice ringing out clear and strong. "He thinks women are objects to be collected and controlled. He called me compliant. He thought I was weak." She looked directly into the camera. "For the record, I was never compliant. I was just blind. And now, I see everything." The article went on to detail the fallout. Chloe's father, a major investor in Liam's startup company, had pulled all funding. Liam was being sued for breach of contract. His investors were fleeing. His reputation was in tatters. And there was a photo. A photo of Liam, taken by paparazzi outside his apartment building. He looked disheveled. He was wearing sweatpants and a stained t-shirt. He looked angry, cornered, and very, very alone. I put the phone down. "Everything okay?" Mark asked, taking a sip of his latte. I looked at the screen one last time. I looked at the man who had broken me, who had tried to erase me, now reduced to a headline. "Yeah," I smiled, reaching across the table to take Mark's hand. "Everything is perfect." I deleted the news app. I had a life to live. A real life, with real love. And it didn't involve Liam Sterling. Not anymore. Epilogue. A year later, I received a letter in the mail. No return address. Inside was a check for $20. And a handwritten note. Stella. I'm sorry. L. I looked at the check. I thought about tearing it up. I thought about framing it. Instead, I endorsed it and donated it to a women's shelter. I walked out to my car where Mark was waiting. We were going to look at houses today. Together. As I drove away, I didn't look back. The rearview mirror showed only the road ahead, open and bright. The end. The next morning, I woke up in his arms. We spoke almost simultaneously. How about we start over? I asked. I'm sorry, he said. I'm getting married. The morning light was a bit harsh, catching on Liam's sculpted ABS. My mind went blank. I thought I'd misheard him. What did you say? Liam looked calm. He leaned against the headboard, lit a cigarette. All my friends are married. I've had my fun. It's time to settle down. Smoke billowed, making me cough uncontrollably. In the past, he would have immediately put out his cigarette and come to comfort me. But this time, Liam just casually grabbed some clothes off the floor and tossed them at me. Get dressed. You should go. Oh, and take that half box of condoms from the nightstand. I won't be needing them anymore anyway. A soft, tender smile touched his lips as if he just thought of something. With any luck, I could be a dad by this time next year. My heart felt a sharp, bitter pain. It was like being stabbed. I was about to say something when a knock suddenly sounded at the door. Liam glanced at his phone, muttering a curse under his breath. Damn it, I forgot my fiancée Chloe is coming today. He frantically put out his cigarette, rummaged through the closet for a white t-shirt and pulled it on. Stay in here and don't make a sound. I stood there frozen, watching his back, as he turned and walked away, without a backward glance to open the door. I sniffled, but my tears betrayed me, spilling down my cheeks as if to force myself to give up hope. I inexplicably pulled the bedroom door open a crack. The girl at the door was elegant and spoke softly. When she and Liam were setting out breakfast, she blushed even at a slight brush of hands. And Liam was no longer his usual arrogant jerk self. I spoke carefully, afraid of saying anything too harsh. It wasn't until Chloe looked down asking in a quiet voice, I heard you had a girlfriend for 3 years. Her voice grew softer. What if she comes back for you someday? Will you leave me and get back together with her? After all, we've only known each other for less than a month. And you two had 3 years together. Who's spreading that nonsense? Liam's face instantly darkened, his tone icy. Is someone jealous that I found true love? Deliberately telling you all that bullshit? The next second, seeing Chloe's teary eyes, he panicked. Liam sighed, rubbing his temples helplessly, then bent down and gently coaxed her. Chloe, I'm not mad at you. He let out a breath as if suppressing his anger. I didn't mean to keep it from you. It's just my ex, Stella. She was such a drama queen. Her temper was awful, like a firecracker, always exploding at the slightest touch. And we broke up because she was unfaithful and cheated on me. Chloe's eyes widened, looking at him in disbelief. Seeing her reaction, Liam immediately added, I just thought she was too embarrassing to mention to you. Think about it. Why would I give up a perfect fiancé like you? And go back to a rotten person like that? Have I lost my damn mind? A few seconds of silence. Chloe let out a giggle, turning her head shyly. I'm not as perfect as you say. I softly closed the door. All the strength seemed to drain from my body. I sat on the cold floor, hugging my knees, letting the despair wash over me. When Liam opened the door and walked in, I had cried myself to sleep. Didn't even notice my state. He pulled out his phone, fiddled with it for a moment and said lazily, I transferred $20 to you. My eyes were swollen and sore and my mind was still hazy. Then I heard him say casually, Didn't you run out of your streaming service membership? Get one yourself. I gave my account to Chloe. Don't use such lame excuses to see me anymore. It's getting boring. I wanted to argue, but the lump in my throat choked my words. William stared at my red eyes, his gaze darkening slightly, crying. He leaned closer, his warm breath fanning my face. The atmosphere became strangely unsettling. In that instant, all I could think about was how good he'd been to me for 3 years. In college, he was known as a playboy. But I was the only girlfriend he ever officially acknowledged. We'd broken up and gotten back together many times. He was never stingy with me, and kept his distance from other women when we were together. His looks and family background were impeccable. Thinking of this, I was about to tentatively say, Actually, I'm not completely against marriage. Was you who found the responsibility too much pressure? So I went along with you about not getting married. Before the words could fully escape, a blinding flash of light hit my eyes. Liam's beautiful upturned eyes narrowed slightly, full of mockery. First time I've seen you cry like this. Let me take a picture for old time's sake. He put away his phone, satisfied, and looked down at me, his voice laced with scorn. Seriously, Stella. You didn't shed a single tear when I broke my arm saving you in that car accident. So what are you crying for now? Before I could answer, Liam reached out and, as he used to habitually, flicked my nose. Don't try to be like Chloe when she cries. It's elegant. You just look ridiculous. Go practice some more. Looking at his arrogant and infuriating expression, I took a deep breath, swung my arm and gave him a hard slap. Then without another glance at him, I turned and slammed the door out of the hotel. I blocked him on all my social media and bought the earliest flight home. This Ocean View city with Liam in it was a place I never wanted to step foot in again. During my time off, to keep myself from overthinking, I packed my schedule full. But I'd forgotten something. A university classmate's wedding. Liam and I had already promised to be groomsmen and bridesmaid. There was no choice. I had to brace myself and fly back to Ocean View City a day early. Going to my friend's house. My hand was just raised, ready to knock. Then I heard Liam's lazy voice from inside. Chloe's a bit timid, so watch what you say later. Don't scare her, someone joked. Are you and Stella really over for good? What happened this time? Liam paused, then grunted a muffled yeah. It was exciting at first, but after a while, it was just whatever. She was too controlling, always trying to tell me what to do. No smoking, no drinking, no coming home late, no touching her without a condom, no matter how urgent. Groom scoffed immediately after. I heard Liam say word by word, I just didn't want to marry her. So I lied about being against marriage. Women like her are fine for fun. But for marriage, it has to be someone sweet and sensible like Chloe. You guys don't even know Chloe is incredibly compliant. He barely has a temper. The latter half of his sentence stopped abruptly. The moment I pushed the door open and our eyes met. Liam visibly flustered for a moment. But the next second he regained his composure, smiling as he greeted me. You're here. Then he stood up, apologizing to everyone in the room. It's almost time. I need to check in or my significant other will start worrying. After he left, the atmosphere in the room became extremely awkward. Everyone joked and tried to change the subject. Only Caleb, Liam's quietest friend, suddenly walked over and coldly dropped a line. I told you two weren't right for each other a long time ago.